Hey friends, welcome back to 3D Cartoon Review. Today we return to Swallowed Star EP 203, where a treasure river drowns arrogance, a teacher moves universes, and a disciple chooses gratitude over hunger without losing any edge. Luo Feng stood inside the virtual universe, shoulders quiet, eyes steady, letting the ice prison blizzard fade like a drumbeat remembered, rather than still heard. He reported everything to the Chaos City Lord, from bargaining with Tian Lang to securing the Beast God Inheritance Order and the dangerous road that suddenly opened like a premature dawn. His plan had been patience forged in winters, training until strength needed no permission. The order changed the tempo, promising an altar where inheritance rewrites ceilings mercilessly. The Chaos City Lord listened without blinking, surprise softening into inevitability, because this disciple kept turning impossibilities into errands and storms into familiar weathered coastlines. Guard the token, the master said, voice even, for predators might seal it instantly, and unsealing after that becomes a story written mostly with funerals and regrets. He weighed rescues like a general counts rivers, deciding the worst likely visitor was a universe overlord, while a universe lord was improbable and still within his suppressive reach. Elsewhere, in the iron heart of Tian Lang Hall, the imprisoned Tian Lang Tu Shuo sent secret pleas through the virtual universe, every syllable sharpened by pride and ravenous hope. He calculated freedom would bring repayment, and afterward the order and Luo Feng's life would slide neatly into the claws that had missed too many previous feasts. News sprinted along monster ray shadows. The master of the Tian Lang lineage demanded audience, and the Tian Lang Universe Lord answered with a decision that sounded like weather breaking. He descended upon Ice Prison Star, freezing courage into obedient sculptures, while Qingduko Venerable and Zaiduko Venerable went to greet a guest nobody truly wants nearby. They requested Tu Shuo's release. Qingduko complied grimly, lifting suppression with the prison's supreme treasure, while irritation folded itself into etiquette the way knives hide in velvet. Freedom tasted hot and sweet in Tu Shuo's mouth. He immediately delivered a name upward, whispering of a human within Ice Prison, carrying the Beast God Inheritance Order. The Tian Lang Universe Lord demanded that human with the tone weather uses when it asks mountains to move and expects gratitude rather than arguments for staying. The wardens had consulted the sitting mountain guest already. His advice came paradoxically calm: follow procedure, release Luo Feng, and reveal nothing about private threads connecting inconvenient hearts. They opened seams in the prison and expelled Luo Feng into starlight, where judgments travel faster than apologies and accidents become policy with alarming professional speed. Tu Shuo gathered power to erase body and memory within a breath, confident the afternoon would simplify once human noises stopped, insisting on continued narrative rights. The universe disagreed first, choosing spectacle. A vast river unfolded across the void, heavenly treasure river rolling with countless treasure phantoms, like compliant stars surrendering to a single current. Its pressure conquered everything. Even flaming Tian Lang Hall shuddered, drifting like a bright leaf on obedient floodwater, while arguments learned humility without needing additional speeches. Sevenfold heavenly treasure river, Ziduku gasped, recognizing the fusion of more than 1,000 special treasures into suppression that smothered resistance like rain, politely extinguishing pride. The Tian Lang Universe Lord burned with law and dignity. The river rippled once, then pressed everything down, the way oceans explain leverage to sparks that misjudge scale. They felt dread clarify into knowledge. The controller walking that current was merely a clone of the Chaos City Lord, while the true body's reputation overshadowed entire epochs. Within that shelter, Luo Feng finally witnessed his master's power without metaphor. Admiration rose through his bones until resolve lengthened its spine and stopped needing introductions. The clone strode along the starry torrent, silver skin gleaming, 1,000 head tentacles whispering, ancient stone staff balanced, battle armor woven from the river's living brilliance and memory. His presence pressed the Tian Lang Universe Lord backward. Tu Shuo admitted privately that this human leader's momentum outweighed his own by an amount mountains consider respectable. Seizing a narrow board in the flood, the Tian Lang Universe Lord exposed Luo Feng, deducing from impossible speed that Blade River King was actually a domain lord wearing an apex treasure. Those Shi Wu Wings hid cultivation with scandalous effectiveness. Beneath them, the true realm sat well below immortality, which made today's injuries to monster race face feel particularly unforgivable. Shock rippled through Qingduku, Ziduku, and Tu Shuo together. The human who tangled every plan stood on a lower step, carrying contradictions with careless, frustrating grace. The Chaos City Lord accepted the charge without flinching, stating simply that he invests ultimate resources in promising juniors, which explains why human apex powerhouses never finish arriving. Still drowning under a river, the Tian Lang Universe Lord stopped arguing pedagogy, dragged Tu Shuo into the dark universe, and vanished like swallowed sparks recoiling from a wiser fire. The river laughed quietly through its pulse. The Chaos City Lord let them go, thanked the wardens with courtesy, and carried Luo Feng away inside authority that never needs raised volume. In the Primal Secret Region, he unveiled the true heavenly treasure river, a horizon-wide majesty like time, remembering its first arrogance and deciding repetition suits immortals beautifully. One day, the master said, you will earn an equal treasure. Then he turned toward debts heavier than treasure, and the conversation settled upon Zhen Yan King. Zhen Yan King walked the beast god earth and space path, brilliant yet lacking an inheritance order, trapped by ceilings and politics that loiter inside resource tables pretending to be fairness. The Chaos City Lord placed the choice gently. Gift the order to Zhen Yan King, or pursue personal inheritance immediately, choosing speed over gratitude and certainty over shared sunrise. The answer arrived before the dilemma finished breathing. Luo Feng would give it, because favor from his master weighed like mountains, and his path held other survivable opportunities. Approval warmed the air, then cooled into warning. The Tian Lang Universe Lord would broadcast Blade River King's realm and wings, painting target circles and embarrassing humanity wherever it prefers applause. Crisis carries doorways. Once exploits turned public, Luo Feng could petition for a special additional order, with odds that looked unfriendly to cynics and acceptable to determined optimists. Furthermore, the Ancestor God Sect protects its inheritance ground, making the journey paradoxically safer than lingering where assassins practice weather forecasts around human schedules and inconvenient miracles. The universe raced to match prophecy. Gossip carried that Blade River King was merely domain lord with a pinnacle treasure, and fascination married ridicule in uncomfortable public ceremonies. Human territories hummed. Within Hongmeng City, conversations multiplied like mirrors, and powerhouses sifted rumors for a silhouette whose contradictions walked like they owned corridors and outcomes. Family asked careful questions. Luo Feng answered without declarations, yet his eyes confessed enough, and pride rose in their chests like dawn, realizing punctuality is a virtue. At the eye of storm and praise, Luo Feng felt oddly calm. Attention and killing intent felt like whetstones now, not verdicts, and resolve grew sharper with every rub. In the city of chaos, 3 purple-robed envoys arrived at the residence of Zhen Yan King, their dignities making disciples breathe cautiously, as if respect were fragile glass. They offered congratulations, opened a metal box, and revealed the Beast God Inheritance Order, a small statue gleaming like a seed rehearsing thunder under well-behaved soil. Zhen Yan King trembled. Years had nailed him at the last step of Invincible King realm, and this token represented an honest door finally opening after too much politeness. He almost knelt to thank the race. Then the envoy mentioned the truth graciously. The order came not from allotment, but as Luo Feng's personal, dangerous, unforced gift. Gratitude tangled with unease. Luo Feng also walked the beast god path, and stealing a disciple's future for a master's breakthrough might fracture his Tao heart into shimmering doubts. He contacted Luo Feng through the virtual universe immediately, rushed to his manor, and insisted on clarity, arguing that accepting such a gift could poison teacher and teaching permanently. Luo Feng reassured him, explaining the token came by perilous chance, while the Chaos City Lord was petitioning an additional order with probabilities that looked stern yet promising. Relief and admiration crowded Zhen Yan King's chest, with his leader advocating another order for Luo Feng felt less like hope and more like logistics scheduled by competent secretaries. Moments later, the Chaos City Lord appeared personally with better news. Human Universe Lords valued the reveal greatly, and an inheritance order for Luo Feng would be dispatched shortly. They would depart together for the Ancestor God Sect inheritance ground, stepping into a sanctuary where ambition wears ritual and risk learns patience without diminishing appetite or fangs. The next day, the token arrived. Zhen Yan King left Chaos City for Primal Secret Region, while Luo Feng donned black armor and met him at a gate humming distances. Onlookers measured silhouettes and whispered. Many guessed the unfamiliar black-armored expert was Blade River King, and the two exchanged modest smiles that dissolved speculation politely and completely. Zhen Yan King produced a golden rhombus starship, proofed for dark universe travel above 90 times light speed, impressive enough to make Luo Feng's eyebrows quietly renegotiate gravity. They launched into starlight, letting conversation become meditation, because journeys toward inheritance prefer minds already capable of surviving knives, without mistaking sharpening for harm. Luo Feng split focus. His earthling body entered the internal world to continue the 9 Tribulations tome, while his golden-horned beast clone reviewed 2,000 years of acceleration. Inside Ice Prison he had crossed 5 tribulation stages. His life gene level climbed to 480 times baseline, rivaling many special lives that bend statistics without apology. He noted how Blood River crystals offered diminishing returns now. Power multiplies until old medicines become nostalgia, useful for stories rather than meaningful transformations. Months passed like 4 slow notes. After 4, Zhen Yan King called him back to waking thought, because the inheritance ground waited ahead with mountains disguised as doors. Space darkened like ink, expecting a brush, roots folded politely, permissions aligned, and the viewport showed what happens when sacred geography decides visitors have finally earned the meeting. Luo Feng touched the order, remembering the Chaos City Lord's River, Tian Lang's retreat, and a teacher holding a future softly, between a smile and a vow never spoken. He exhaled once, then smiled toward tomorrow. Some doors require gratitude to open, and some paths sharpen themselves only when every unfriendly constellation is watching carefully. Thanks for traveling with 3D Cartoon Review. If treasure rivers, difficult generosity, and starships bound for inheritance stirred you, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell so the next door opens with you already inside.